Hello there. Hi, and welcome to the Good News Sunday Show. My name is Sonia McCullough Lockridge, and I am your host. And currently, what we are doing on the Good News Sunday Show is we are in the midst of a little more than a year-long study of biblical prayer. So, this is lesson number 14 of our study of what I have titled The Importance of Prayer Study, which is an acronym for TIPS, TIPS, The Importance of Prayer Study, TIPS. And so this is our 14th week, so this is our lesson number 14, and for the past few lessons we have focused on pinnacle prayer points in the Word. Pinnacle prayer points in the Word. And so this week, our focus is on Hannah in the book of Samuel. Hannah's prayer in the book of Samuel. And so we are going to start reading with verse 1 of chapter 1 and read until we are satisfied that we have read all that pertains in the book of Samuel about this particular prayer of Hannah's. So, let's get started. Verse 1 of chapter 1 of the first book of Samuel. Excuse me. Now there was a certain man from Ramathaim, Zopiham, from the hill country of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuppah, in Ephraimite. Now, forgive me if I mispronounce those words. He had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Now this man would go up from his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice to the Lord of hosts of Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophniah and Phinehas, were priests to the Lord there. When the day came that Elkanah sacrificed, he would give portions to Peninnah his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had closed her womb. Her rival, however, would provoke her bitterly to irritate her, because the Lord had closed her womb. Let me stop for just a second and say, today we are reading in the New American Standard Bible, the 1985 edition. New American Standard, 1985 edition. So we stopped at verse 5. So let's go on. Well, 5 or 6 therein. Anyway, verse 5. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had closed her womb. Her rival, however, would provoke her bitterly to irritate her, because the Lord had closed her womb. It happened year after year, and as often as she went up to the house of the Lord, she would provoke her, so she wept and would not eat. Then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep, and why do you not eat, and why is your heart sad? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? Then Hannah rose after eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the temple of the Lord. She, Hannah, greatly distressed, prayed to the Lord and wept bitterly. She made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you indeed look on the affliction of your maidservant and remember me and not forget your maidservant, but will you give your maidservant a son? Then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and a razor shall never come on his head. A plea and a promise. A plea and a promise. Now it came about, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli was watching her mouth. As for Hannah, she was speaking in her heart, only her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. So Eli thought she was drunk. Then Eli said to her, "How long will you make yourself drunk? Put away your wine from you." But Hannah replied, "No, my Lord, I am a woman oppressed in spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have poured out my soul before the Lord. Do not consider your maidservant as a worthless woman, for I have spoken until now out of my great concern and provocation." Then Eli answered her and said, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant your petition that you have asked of him." She said, "Let your maidservant find favor in your sight." So the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. Then they rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and returned again to the house in Ramah. And Elkanah had relations with Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her. And the Lord remembered her. It came about in due time, after Hannah had conceived, that she gave birth to a son, and she named him Samuel, saying, "Because I have asked him of the Lord." Then the man Elkanah went up with all his household to offer to the Lord the yearly sacrifice and pay his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, "I will not go up until the child is weaned. Then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord and stay there forever." Elkanah, her husband, said to her, "Do what seems best to you. Remain until you have weaned him. Only may the Lord confirm his word." So the woman remained and nursed her son until she weaned him. Now when she had weaned him, she took him up with her with a 3-year-old bull and 1 ephah of flour and a jug of wine, and brought him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh, although the child was young. Then they slaughtered the bull and brought the boy to Eli. She said, "Oh, my Lord, as your soul lives, my Lord, I am the woman who stood here beside you praying to the Lord. For this boy I prayed, and the Lord has given me my petition, which I ask of him. So I have also dedicated him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he is dedicated to the Lord," and he worshiped the Lord there. So that is the first few verses. Well, no, it's the first 28 verses of 1 Samuel. And now we have Hannah's song of thanksgiving. Then Hannah prayed and said, "My heart exalts the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth speaks boldly against my enemies, because I rejoice in your salvation. There is no one holy like the Lord. Indeed, there is no one beside you, nor is there any rock like our God. Boast no more so very proudly. Do not let arrogance come out of your mouth, for the Lord is God of knowledge, and with him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty are shattered, but the feeble grid on strength. Those who were full hired themselves out for bread, but those who were hungry ceased to hunger. Even the barren give birth to 7. But she who has many children languishes. The Lord kills and makes alive. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. The Lord makes poor and rich. He brings low. He also exalts. He raises the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the ash heap to make them sit with nobles and inherit a seat of honor. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he set the whole world on them. He keeps the feet of his godly ones, but the wicked ones are silenced in darkness. For not by might shall a man prevail. Those who contend with the Lord will be shattered. Against them he will thunder in heavens. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth, and he will give strength to his king, and he will exalt the horn of his anointed. Then Elkanah went to his home at Ramah, but the boy ministered to the Lord before Eli the priest. So that is the conclusion of Hannah's story in regards to her prayer and her prayer of thanksgiving. This is a pinnacle prayer point in the holy word of God. For Hannah had not a child, and the Lord blessed her with a son. The Lord had closed her womb, and the Lord allowed her womb to bear a child, a boy, a man-child, which she named Samuel. So this is a pinnacle prayer point because there was a plea and there was a petition and there was an answer and there was a promise. There was a promise made and a promise given. After the boy was weaned, she gave him to the Lord as promised. My name is Sonia McCullough-Lockridge, signing out for the Good News Sunday Show. Pinnacle prayer points in the holy word of God. We, in lessons 1 through 14, we have gone through several pinnacle prayers. And at this point in time, with this reading of Hannah's prayer, we are going to stop the pinnacle prayer points for right now. We will pick them up at a later date, and we are going on to study in depth the importance of prayer from lesson 15 forward. And like I said before, this is a year-long study, so it will not conclude until April 30th of 2023. And like I always say, the good news is we still have time. We still have time to align this, our one life, with the holy and mighty word of the Lord. This is Sonia signing out for the Good News Sunday Show. Thank you, and have a blessed Pentecost Sunday in the Lord. And I'm not sure if I'm going to post this for Pentecost Sunday or post it afterwards. So we shall see. But whatever the date, have a blessed day in the Lord. Thank you and be blessed.